I'm 42 years old. Married for almost 15 years. 2 kids. Suburban house. Family barbecues. Holidays that looked like something out of a catalog. For most of my adult life, I genuinely believed I was one of the lucky ones. I met my wife, Jenna, in my late 20s. She was warm, funny, sharp in a way that made you feel seen. We built a life from nothing. Crappy apartments. Second-hand furniture. Ramen dinners that felt romantic because we were young and in love. When we finally bought our house, I cried in the driveway while holding the keys. I remember thinking, this is it. I did something right. My family has always been close. Loud, chaotic, sometimes annoying, but close. Sunday dinners. Birthdays. Camping trips. Everyone knew everyone's business. My cousin Mark was basically my brother growing up. Same age. Same schools. Same sports teams. We fought like siblings and made up just as fast. Mark and Jenna never got along. From the beginning, there was tension. Snide comments. Eye rolls. Passive-aggressive jokes. They avoided each other at gatherings whenever possible. If they were in the same room, you could feel the frost. I used to joke about it. Oil and water, I'd say. Jenna would roll her eyes and say, "He's an asshole." Mark would say she was too fake. I believed them. Looking back now, I feel stupid writing that. Life felt stable. Predictable. Boring in the good way. I trusted my wife completely. I trusted my family completely. I had no idea my entire reality was already rotten from the inside. And the worst part? They were hiding it in plain sight. The thing about red flags is they don't look red when you're inside them. They look beige. Neutral. Easy to excuse. Jenna and Mark's hatred was consistent. Too consistent, maybe? They never had blowout fights. Never really argued. Just this constant low-level hostility. Jenna would complain about Mark on the drive home from family events. He stares too much. He's so fake. I hate how he pretends to be Mr. Nice Guy. I nodded. Agreed. Comforted her. Mark would say similar stuff about Jenna. She's controlling. She acts perfect, but she's not. Something about her rubs me wrong. I thought it was normal personality conflict. Sometimes I noticed small things. Jenna suddenly volunteering to help in the kitchen when Mark was already in there. Mark showing up early to gatherings more often. Jenna taking longer to get ready when we were going to my parents' house. Little stuff. Harmless stuff. If I ever mentioned it, Jenna would snap. God, you're paranoid. I can't even stand being around him. That should have been my first real warning. Instead, I apologized. Another thing, Jenna started guarding her phone more closely around year 10 of our marriage. Nothing dramatic. No obvious hiding. Just subtle changes. Turning it face down. Taking it into the bathroom. Getting tense if I picked it up to check the time. I told myself everyone deserves privacy. Mark also became weird with me. Distant. Less talkative when Jenna was around. Almost nervous. I assumed he felt awkward because they didn't like each other. God, I built entire lies in my head just to protect the people I loved. Around 2 years ago, things between Jenna and me started feeling off. Not explosive. Not dramatic. Just hollow. Sex became infrequent. Conversations became surface level. She seemed distracted. Detached. Always tired. Always stressed. I blamed work. She blamed hormones. We talked about counseling. Never followed through. There was this quiet distance that grew slowly, like mold behind a wall. Meanwhile, Mark suddenly became very present in my life again. Texting more. Calling about random stuff. Inviting me out for beers. I felt weirdly flattered. Like maybe we were reconnecting. Looking back, I think he was trying to ease his guilt by being nice. One night, after a family barbecue, I noticed Jenna was unusually upbeat. Laughing more. Relaxed? Almost light. I hadn't seen her like that in months. On the drive home, I said, "You seem in a good mood." She shrugged. "Just tired, but good tired." Later that night, she fell asleep fast. Her phone buzzed. I didn't look. I swear to God I didn't look. Not that night. I wish I had. Because maybe I could have stopped something sooner. Or maybe I just would have suffered longer. I don't know. All I know is that small, nagging feeling started forming in my stomach. Not suspicion. Not accusation. Just unease. Like something in my life was slightly out of alignment. Like a picture hanging crooked that you keep meaning to straighten but never do. The turning point wasn't dramatic. No lipstick on collars. No caught-in-the-act moment. It was stupid. One afternoon, Jenna asked me to fix something on her phone. Her Bluetooth wasn't connecting to her car. She handed it to me without hesitation. That alone felt strange. While I was poking around settings, a message banner slid down from the top. From a contact named the message said, "Last night was insane. I can still feel you." My brain didn't immediately go to cheating. It went to confusion. M could be anyone. Coworker. Friend. Wrong number. I froze. The screen locked. Jenna was in the kitchen. I stood there holding her phone like it was a live wire. When I gave it back, I said nothing. She thanked me, smiled, went back to cooking. I went into the bathroom and stared at myself in the mirror. My face looked normal. But inside, something had cracked. That night, I barely slept. My mind replayed that message over and over. "I can still feel you." Who says that? About what? I told myself I was overreacting. I told myself not to become that guy. I told myself trust means not snooping. But trust also assumes honesty. And something felt very wrong. 2 nights later, when Jenna fell asleep, I picked up her phone. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped it. I hated myself. I hated what I was about to do. But I needed to know. Her phone didn't have a lock code. She never thought she needed one. I opened messages. Scrolled. There were threads with coworkers. Friends. Family. Nothing obvious. Then I saw. My chest tightened. I opened it. Hundreds of messages. I didn't even know where to start. I scrolled up randomly. "Miss you. Wish we could do that again soon. Be careful, don't let him notice." My heart started pounding so hard I thought I might throw up. I kept scrolling. Then I saw a message from Jenna. "I hate how we have to pretend we can't stand each other." Another from M. "That's what makes it hot." I felt dizzy. I scrolled up more. Then I saw his name in a message Jenna had forwarded to herself months ago. Mark. My cousin Mark. I dropped the phone. Actually dropped it. It hit the carpet and bounced. I remember whispering, "No. No. No." I picked it up again, hands numb. Scrolled further. There were photos. Not fully nude. But intimate. Her shoulder. Her collarbone. His hand on her thigh. Inside jokes. References to last Thanksgiving. Garage quickie. Bathroom upstairs. I sat on the edge of my bed in complete silence while my entire life disintegrated in front of me. Family holidays. Birthdays. Barbecues. They weren't just showing up. They were meeting. They were fucking. In my parents' house. In my house. Probably in rooms where my kids were sleeping. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I felt hollow. Like someone had scooped everything out of my chest. Jenna rolled over in her sleep and mumbled my name. I almost laughed. I didn't confront her right away. I don't know why. Shock, maybe? Or cowardice. Or some sick part of me hoping I misunderstood. The next day, I went to work like normal. Smiled at coworkers. Answered emails. Went to meetings. Inside, I was screaming. Every time my phone buzzed, I wondered if it was her texting him. Every time I saw a car like Mark's on the road, my stomach twisted. That night, Jenna kissed me goodnight. I almost flinched. I went to the bathroom and threw up. I took screenshots of the messages. Sent them to myself. Deleted the evidence from her phone so she wouldn't realize I knew. I hate that I did that. It felt sneaky. But I needed proof. Proof that I wasn't losing my mind. 2 days later, I asked Jenna casually, "Do you still hate Mark?" She laughed. "God, yes." "Why?" "No reason. Just curious." She rolled her eyes. "He's such a creep." I stared at her. The woman I loved. The woman I built a life with. Lying to my face with zero hesitation. That hurt almost more than the affair itself. Because it meant this wasn't a mistake. This was a sustained double life. That night, I barely slept again. I decided I couldn't carry it alone anymore. I needed to confront her. Even though I was terrified of what she'd say. Even though I already knew. I confronted Jenna on a Sunday morning. Kids were at my sister's for a sleepover. House was quiet. Too quiet. I told her we needed to talk. She looked annoyed. "About what?" I took my phone out. Opened the screenshots. Showed her. She stared at the screen. Her face strained of color. She didn't deny it. She didn't pretend. She just sat down. Covered her face. And started crying. I said, "How long?" She whispered, "On and off, about 4 years. 4 years. 4 years of holidays. 4 years of family dinners. 4 years of lying to my face." I asked, "Why Mark?" She sobbed. "It just happened." I laughed. Not because it was funny. Because it was insane. I said, "You hate him." She looked up at me through tears. "That was part of it. That sentence will haunt me forever." I asked if she loved him. She said, "No." I asked if she ever planned to tell me. She said, "No." I asked if she slept with him in our house. She hesitated. Then nodded. I felt something inside me snap. I punched the wall. Hard. I broke my knuckle. Didn't feel it. I screamed. I cried. I collapsed onto the floor. Jenna kept saying, "I'm sorry." Over and over. It sounded meaningless. Like noise. Like static. After I calmed down enough to breathe, I asked the question I'd been dreading. "Does anyone else know?" She shook her head. "Just him." I didn't believe her. But I didn't have energy to argue. Then I asked, "Why pretend you hate each other?" She wiped her face. "It made it easier. No one would ever suspect." Perfect disguise. They built an entire performance around their affair. Inside jokes disguised as insults. Avoidance disguised as tension. I felt stupid. I felt played. I felt like the punchline to a cruel joke. I asked if she ever thought about me while she was with him. She didn't answer. That answer was enough. I told her I wanted her to leave. She begged. Cried. Promised to cut contact. Promised therapy. Promised transparency. I told her it didn't matter. Because the damage was already done. She packed a bag. Went to her sister's. When the door closed, the house felt cavernous. Empty. Not peaceful. Haunted. I sat on the couch and stared at the wall for hours. I didn't call anyone. I didn't know what to say. "How was your weekend?" "Oh, you know. Found out my wife's been fucking my cousin for 4 years. I felt ashamed. Even though I did nothing wrong. I couldn't stop thinking about Mark. My own blood. Someone who grew up in my house. Who played video games in my room. Who stood next to me at my wedding. I texted him. Did you sleep with my wife? 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Finally. I'm sorry. That was it. No explanation. No justification. No apology beyond 2 words. I drove to his place. I don't even remember the drive. I pounded on his door. He opened it. He looked terrified. Good. I didn't punch him. I thought I would. I just said, "How could you?" He cried. Actually cried. Said he hated himself. Said it started when he and Jenna got drunk at a family reunion. Said they kept telling themselves it would stop. It never did. I asked if he loved her. He said yes. I told him I never wanted to see him again. I told him he was dead to me. I meant it. We haven't spoken since. My family doesn't know the full story. They know Jenna and I are having problems. They don't know Mark's role. I can't bring myself to blow up the entire family. Sometimes I think that makes me weak. Sometimes I think it's self-preservation. Jenna and I tried therapy. I don't know why. Hope, maybe. Habit. Fear of change. She cried a lot. Took responsibility. Said she was broken. Said she hated herself. Said she loved me. I believed she was sorry. But I didn't believe she could undo what she did. Every time she touched me, I saw them. Every time she went to a family gathering, I wondered if she missed him. Every time her phone buzzed, my chest tightened. Trust was gone. Not damaged. Not cracked. Gone. We tried for 6 months. Some days were almost normal. Most days were hell. I became angry. Suspicious. Withdrawn. I hated who I was becoming. I filed for separation. Jenna didn't fight it. She said she understood. That somehow hurt worse. We told the kids we were living apart. They cried. I cried with them. I felt like I was destroying their world even though I wasn't the one who lit the match. The fallout has been slow and quiet. No dramatic public explosions. Just distance. Silence. Awkward holidays where Jenna isn't there anymore. Mark stopped showing up to family events too. People assume unrelated reasons. No one connects the dots. Sometimes I want to scream the truth. Sometimes I want to protect my kids from ever knowing. I'm lonely in a way I didn't know existed. Not the no one to hang out with kind. The no one knows what I'm carrying kind. I question everything now. Every memory. Every smile. Every I love you from the past 4 years feels contaminated. Were they laughing at me? Were they relieved I was oblivious? I don't know. And not knowing is its own torture. Dating feels impossible. How do you tell someone this story without sounding like damaged goods? How do you trust again? Some days I feel strong. Like I survived something catastrophic. Other days I feel pathetic. Like I wasn't enough. Like if I had been better, she wouldn't have looked elsewhere. Therapist says that's bullshit. Logically, I know that. Emotionally, I still feel defective. I replay moments constantly. Family barbecues where Mark and Jenna were arguing in the corner. Bathroom breaks that took too long. Late night walks after dinner. I see it all now. Hindsight is cruel. Sometimes I imagine alternate realities. What if I had checked her phone earlier? What if I had pushed harder when things felt off? What if I had insisted on therapy years ago? It's pointless. I know that. But my brain doesn't care. The hardest part isn't even the sex. It's the deception. The sustained, coordinated lying. 2 people I loved conspiring against me. Smiling at me. Letting me feel safe. That's what broke me. I don't hate Jenna. That surprises people. I don't love her either. I feel empty toward her. Like she's a stranger wearing a familiar face. As for Mark, I feel disgust. And grief. Grief for the cousin I thought I had. Grief for the brotherhood that never really existed. Jenna occasionally asks if we could try again someday. I always say I don't know. The truth is, I don't see a path back. Even if she never cheated again. Even if she became a perfect partner. I would still know what she's capable of. I would still know she looked at my cousin and chose him. Repeatedly. For years. Love without trust feels pointless. Like building a house on sand. My kids are the only reason I get out of bed some mornings. They deserve stability. They deserve a father who shows up. Even when he's broken. I put on a brave face for them. But sometimes, late at night, I sit in my car in the driveway and cry so they won't hear me. I don't feel like a hero. I don't feel resilient. I feel tired. I don't know if I'll ever tell my family the truth. Part of me thinks they deserve to know who Mark really is. Part of me doesn't want to be responsible for detonating generations of relationships. So I carry it. Quietly. Alone. Which might be the heaviest part of all. If you're reading this and something feels off in your relationship, don't ignore it. Not in a paranoid way. But in an honest way. Your gut exists for a reason. I ignored mine because trusting felt easier than questioning. I won't make that mistake again. If I ever love someone again, it will be slower. More cautious. Less blind. I hate that this is who I've become. But I don't see another option. I still don't fully understand how people live double lives. How they look someone in the eye while actively betraying them. How they sleep at night. Maybe I never will. Maybe that's a good thing. This story doesn't have a clean ending. No dramatic revenge. No satisfying closure. Just a man in his 40s trying to rebuild an identity he thought was permanent. Some days I feel hopeful. Some days I feel hollow. Most days I feel somewhere in between. If there's a lesson in all of this, it's not some inspirational quote. It's simpler. People are capable of things you never imagine. Even the ones you love. Especially the ones you love. And sometimes the people who seem to hate each other are just hiding something too ugly to show.